Um, but yeah, so he's numbed up my face. So he did a filling here to the point where I could feel the filling. But then the
Okay.
periodontal disease here, he went, I'll just put a little bit of numbing in it. This bit here is still like numb.
I've,
And it's, what is it? It's 1 o'clock now, and he did it at about
yeah, that
10 to 10.
when I had. Oh, in fact, before I get onto that, Dorks Down Under. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Dorks Down Under Season 2, Episode 33. I am your host, Jordan, and joining me is my co-host, which is Dez, all the way in Australia. And
33.
33.
And it's season 2.
Season 2, 33.
Mate, we
I
might
think,
have to have
I
like a
think
season
30,
100 topless one.
I think 37 is our 50th total episode, I think. I think it's something like that. We worked it out ages ago. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll do that one on our OnlyFans. We'll do a topless one or something.
Yes, of course we will.
Just like little nipple tassels. So when we get excited, we can just spit.
Oh, God, no. Oh, I don't want that image in my
Jordan's
brain.
like,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us available on all good podcast apps, and we are also available on Vidcast on Spotify and YouTube. You can find us at Dogs Down Under, and you can also find us on our social media, which is TikTok and X. I'm going to get used to saying it, X.
It just feels...
I know, it
feels
doesn't say
stupid.
it doesn't roll off the tongue like Twitter. Twitter rolls off the tongue. Oh, you can find us on X. It just doesn't sound right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
The only time it ever sounded good was when DMX used to say it.
Oh, yeah. That works.
X
Yeah.
gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you. X gonna give it.
But anyway.
I was listening to that in my work.
Yeah.
And it was where my dog's at. And yes, my Bluetooth just decided to cut out then. And yeah, so there was only 3 words said. Unfortunately, one of said 3 words did start with N.
Was it I was about to say, was it one of the N word? Was it the N word that shouldn't be said?
Yes.
Anyway, right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 33. We are going to be discussing our main topic, which is One Piece.
You did actually watch it.
But before we get to that, I'll finish off my quick story. But yeah, when I went for, so when was it? About 2 months ago now, I ended up going to get some dental work done, and I had to have 4 fillings done. I had 2 on one side and 2, like 2. Yeah. I think it was 2 up here, and then on this side it was 1 and 1. And he said, right, we'll do it on one side at a time because it works out easier and blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, don't care. Yeah. So the first time I went, because it was the up and down one, and he did it, and literally it not only felt like I was numb. It was like it's swollen up, and my tongue was like huge. So I don't know if it's because of it was so strange. Whereas
can't see it.
The 2 on this side, they were both side by side, so I only had to numb up here rather than the full side of my face. So yeah, it was
literally one. It was 2 here that are next to each other, the back one and that one, and there's one here. But like to the point where I don't know, you probably can't see it on this camera, but
yeah.
Like it's a little bit red there, and I was actually found myself drooling for the first time. Like I know what it's like now when the old ladies and the older ladies seem to get way too much Botox and they just start to thing.
Yeah.
Because even Cherish is like your lips are off. I'm like, yeah, I know because this whole side. But this is all he had to do was clean here. This bit where he actually had the filling, he put like none in because I could feel the whole bloody filling. I'm like, damn it,
that's horrible. But yeah,
it doesn't matter.
So anyway,
it's not that painful.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna get to One Piece now. Obviously, I did say last week I would watch it. I am a man of my word. I haven't watched all of it. I've still got. I think I'm like 3 episodes shy.
Oh, we can't talk about it because the last 3 episodes are like really good.
But I want to discuss the premises of it, sort of thing, and what my thoughts and feelings are on it for a start.
You hate it. Oh, that's it. We're ending the podcast straight up.
Right. Okay. The problem is I have tried to get into One Piece, the anime. All right, I have tried it before, so I already roughly knew what was coming in this entire. Because when you told me it was like episode thing to thing, I already roughly know the outline of the arc, so I already know what was coming. Yeah. So in terms of what Netflix have done, I think it's really good. It's a good gateway in on an anime series, is what I think. That's my personal opinion. The look of it as well, I really like the look. Obviously, it's not as like glamoury as like the animes, because animes is very, when you watch the anime, it is very cartoony. in certain
Yeah.
bits, and obviously Netflix have had to put an event of a little bit of realism on, sort of thing, which I kind of
Yeah.
get. So that's fine. I do like the fact that they cut out a lot of filler, or they make it as flashbacks, like quick. This is all you need. This is all.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously when you're watching the anime, they'll give you like a full 10-minute thing, and it's like, oh god, why do I need this? I just get back to the action, please. But yeah. Whereas having a quick, oh, here's a quick 2-minute flashback to Zoro's
So what have you
previous
watched?
life.
Have you watched up to episode 5 or 6?
Which one was episode 5? I can't remember the name of the episodes now.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll pull it up. So Netflix, One Piece television series. Where's it at? One Piece official site. Hang on. Where's it at? There was a thing here. Yeah, here we go. The One Piece TV series, because this will give me the names, because I remember the names. Romance at Dawn. Number 5 was Eat of the Barati. Yes, I watched that one. That was good.
Yep.
Yeah. I am up to
the Chef and the Shore Boy.
I'm up to episode 6. I've watched to the end of 5, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking forward to watching the last 3 and getting it done.
The last 3 are incredibly good.
Okay, I'm very much looking forward to it. But
So, yeah.
I do love the styling. The styling of the show is fantastic. And also, can I just say, her name, what is it? Emily
Nami?
Rudd. Emily Rudd, who plays Nami in the show. How much does she look like Jennifer Lawrence? It is literally.
Really?
I honestly think as Nami, when you look at her, is like actually looking at her, she looks like Jennifer Lawrence in my opinion.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I personally, I was like, because obviously I had a drink and I thought, is this Jennifer Lawrence? Just for a second, and then I had a quick looked it up, and I was like, oh no, it's not.
I'm not.
Emily Rudd, and I was like, hang on, does Paul Rudd have a daughter? But then it's not. She's not related to Paul Rudd whatsoever.
Yeah,
so I was like,
I was gonna say, if she's related to Paul Rudd, she'd be 70 and still playing this damn character.
Oh yeah, of course.
The
The
man that is ageless. Yeah, no, I love Nami in this, and the problem is what you've watched up to. Nami feels quite one-dimensional.
Yes. Well,
and the problem is, and this is the problem. The problem is the last 3 episodes is when you get the Nami side of things.
Yeah.
And I feel like she developed, especially in the last 2 episodes of the series, you literally get to learn a lot about Nami, and and you start to figure out things a lot more. And that's why I'm like, oh my god, no, because for you, Nami's this one-dimensional character that's like she really does up until episode 6 and 7. She kind of feels almost a bit just like a background character. Where 6, 7, and 8 is like literally where you get to learn more about her. And I must say, I love the way they've done it.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I found hilarious, because obviously before I ended up watching it, because obviously I said to you, I need to watch it because it's taking over my TikTok feed. An algorithm about people raving about the show. One TikTok that did crop up that I found really interesting, which the animation studio who produces it had to release a statement because everyone was complaining, saying, "Why is there only one Japanese person in this live action anime sort of thing?" And blah blah blah, and X, Y, and Z. And they actually came out and said, you do realize that everyone's from a different country, right? In the show. Yeah. And they released this image and it was like, oh, here's Luffy. Luffy's Brazilian. He's Brazilian. And then Nami, and then obviously Zoro is Japanese and blah, blah, blah. And it just listed off all the different countries they're from. And they've tried to get actors from that country to be an accurate portrait, which I applaud. It was genius. It was well done.
I must say though, like that was one thing that I was worried about is that before we sat down to watch it, I was like, is this going to be like an all Japanese theme, or are they going to like do what they've done in the past, which is kind of whitewash it a bit?
Yeah.
But the characters work so beautifully together. Like the guy that plays Luffy is lanky, is awkward, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And the way he plays off also with that captain that obviously ends up giving him the hat.
Oh, Shanks, yeah.
Yeah. And like their pirate gang and how he's instilled that his views of what a pirate is and all these things. Like I feel like this series is, as much as it is entertaining, there's also so many life lessons to it And I think that's why, like, weirdly, Cherish has started to watch it a third time.
Yeah.
Which, when she told me she was going to watch it, as I said to you, I laughed and went, she's going to get halfway through and go, this is an anime, this is crap,
Yeah.
and get rid of it. But then she watched it with me and she's starting it a third time because that's how much she enjoys it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Well, it's good if I'll say, as I say, I actually think it's a good, because Ellie came and because I was watching one episode and like while she was getting Edward ready for bed and all that jazz, I was watching an episode to try and get through as many as I could.
But didn't make
And
it. Yet I got through
she,
like 3 seasons, just saying.
yeah, I know, but she then walked in. She went, "What are you watching?" I said, "I'm watching One Piece," and she was like, "Okay." And then she was watching it, and she's like, "This looks quite interesting." So the fact that even for literally 5 minutes of her watching it, she's like, "Oh, this looks interesting." I'm like, "Well, you'd have to watch it from the start because I am not explaining everything." So because I think this is like episode 4, and I thought I cannot be bothered to sit there and explain everything to you. But yeah, it was.
Mind you, though, the pacing was beautiful.
Yes.
I felt like there was a very good, like, there didn't seem like any filler episodes. The one that I was kind of like maybe a little bit of a filler, but then kind of turned itself around was that one where they meet. Oh, who's the dude with the slingshot? I can't remember names. I'm horrible at names.
Oolong.
Yeah, Captain Oolong, as I like to call him
He's
now.
not Captain Oolong.
But yeah, I know. But it's just funny. But when they first met him, there was a bit where they kind of want a boat, and then they go meet this rich person, and a little way into it, you're like, oh, this may be a little bit of a filler. But then it really does turn itself around, and I must say the friendships, like to the point where I said to Cherish, I'm like, as a joke, I said, I'm going to get a little straw hat on my wrist that just says "Follow your dreams," and Cherish hates tattoos. Thinks that I should never get them, this, that, and the other. And she's like, I'd be okay with that one.
It is. I tell you, yeah. I think one thing I actually like about the next episode is that they've cut out lots of filler. Because that I mean, I understand. This is the thing. One thing I've learned about from Japanese animation, or anime as it's obviously commonly known as, is they like to, especially in shonen shows, which is what this is, which is about a hero who's becoming almighty and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
I believe that's a rough definition. Do not quote me on that, anyone.
Yeah.
But
they always want to throw a whole heap of hate at Jordan.
They like to sort of give you all this background knowledge and lore, and so there'll always be these filler episodes here and there. But everyone's always like, "Why? I don't want this. Just stick with the action. We need a little bit of knowledge. We don't need an entire 15 minutes dedicated to why this person matters so much." And it's just like, oh god. Oh, here's what else is happening while the big fight's occurring. It's like, no, don't cut away from the big fight. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah. So I do think it was good that they got a right balance. So they gave you little bits of flashback for knowledge. Like, obviously, about Zoro's swords and why they matter so much. That, did that as a couple little bits of flashback.
And that was beautifully done. Yeah. Like, they gave you just enough to be able to fully comprehend what it was about. And then, obviously, in the next episode, which I'm not going to spoil, obviously, you get to see him sword fight a little bit more. But his scenes are absolutely electric.
Yeah.
Watching him fight, I must say, I absolutely love. I just think they're fantastic. And just the way they've done the fight scenes, the way they've done all these things, it's just hard. And that was the weirdest thing, is that I found that that one that I thought was going to be a filler episode, based on after they get there, it ended up turning into a really amazing episode, and that was episode 5, I believe.
The Eat of the Baratat.
Yeah, and there's a massive twist in number 6, which I love, and you got to wait for that. That's going to be cool.
I look forward to it.
But like, it's just one of those things where there's just something about the pacing, like even then. But like, it was weird because as you're watching it, like, especially because we watched them, I think over 8 days, or maybe not even, maybe 5 days. We literally watched 1.5 episodes every day. But when you got to that episode, it did feel like it's weird because they've been running, they've been doing all these things, they've been doing this. And it felt like for the first time as the watcher, he got to this thing, he wanted a boat, he went to see this rich person, and then all of a sudden it's like, I'll come in for dinner. And then you just kind of relax. And it gave you this time where you kind of relaxed with the characters, and it felt like the first time that they were able to actually relax. And then it just went bananas, and it kind of twisted on its head. And I thought that it was beautiful. It was this beautiful lull there, which kind of almost gave the watcher a false sense of security that this was going to be an episode where they just got to chill. Nothing too much exciting was going to happen. They were just going to be able to relax, and it really wasn't. And I must say, like, I'm hanging for
Yeah,
season 2 now.
yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to finish it and see what I think once it's finished. It's going to be interesting. But I actually brought me onto a good thought the other night while I was watching it. I thought, what other animes could benefit from this kind of treatment to try and maybe generate into, and like I had, because obviously there's like Netflix did Cowboy Bebop, so I think that was kind of a test run for doing something like this sort of thing, and
Yes.
Cowboy Bebop was not bad. It wasn't too bad.
From everybody I've heard, it was horrid.
Yeah,
but I actually want to watch it.
It's one of those things. I mean, it's not as good as the anime. That's the thing. The anime was really dark and really gritty, and of course Netflix kind of can do it that way, but they really can't. It's sort of, it's kind of. I think Cowboy Bebop was the wrong one to start off on, but I actually thought about it, and there's definitely 2 animes I think they should maybe think about taking a crack at, which would be interesting.
Oh, this could be controversial.
Well, the first one, I'm wearing the T-shirt.
I knew it was gonna be. I fucking knew it was gonna be Dragon Ball. I'm like, no. Have you seen the movies? They were 10 shades of horrible.
Yeah. Okay. Right. The movies were terrible because the fact is that you can't do them as movies. All right, you cannot condense down Dragon Ball Z, or even Dragon Ball Super. You can't condense it down into a live action movie unless you do it as a trilogy, and even then, you can't, because the problem is that Dragon Ball Z.
Trilogy.
What?
I think it was a trilogy.
Which one?
I think the Dragon Ball movies ended up being. It was either 2 or it was 3.
Oh God, they did a second one. Oh God, and I haven't seen that.
Pretty sure. Hang on, I'm googling it.
Okay, but anyway, the fact is, like, for example, with Dragon Ball Z, for example, it's written as arcs. You have the Saiyan arc, you have this thing arc, so you can't condense down all that into one movie. You'd have to do it by individual arcs, realistically. And to be fair, with Dragon Ball Z, that would be. I think there's like 8 arcs or something like that, so that'll be 8 movies, and there's no way that any production company would sign off on 8 movies off the bat.
Yeah, that's true.
Sort of thing. There's no way they would do it. So the fact is
that being said, though, Netflix might. Because one thing that I do like about Netflix is Netflix always. So for anyone who doesn't know how Netflix works, Netflix will so if you've noticed that a movie will come out and it will have, say, for example, X actor in it, and then they'll also have 2 or 3 more. They normally have 3 more movies, or 3 movies in total that will star that same actor. Because what Netflix does is they give them a 3-movie deal at a time. And then obviously, say for example, they're in Dragon Ball, and then Dragon Ball doesn't decide to have a second one, or it's delayed. They'll then put them into like a war one and stuff like that. So that's one thing that Netflix does. Okay. And it's also, they do that to save money, because they're like, how about we sign you to a 3-movie deal? You get $150 million. They're like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously it grows from there, because that's the same thing with excuse me. Jesus. With Chris Hemsworth, that's why he did the Extraction 2, and he's still got 1 more movie on his deal, which is why they've decided to make it a trilogy.
Okay. But yeah. So obviously, I think Dragon Ball, they could take. I think actually taking a crack at it from Dragon Ball's in the origins. So go. If they did a TV show based off that, and if that got a good reception, then that can easily upgrade into Dragon Ball Z and then further. Yeah. So they could do it that way. So
my problem with Dragon Ball though is, like, at least for like One Piece, it's kind of like pirates. It's on the sea. It's somewhat believable. Yeah. The problem with Dragon Ball is, a bit that I've seen, is it's a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yes.
Like it's a bit. It's the same reason why Hong Kong cinema is this beautiful, amazing thing, but is mainly limited to Hong Kong and mainland China. And when they try to bring movies over here that are like that, they kind of go.
I totally agree. The fact is that the Dragon Ball universe is a very unique place. The fact is that Earth still has dinosaurs walking around on it and all this jazz, and they have talking animals and everything else, and it's all very normal. And it's like, this is not normal. But, it just, in terms of the standard universe that they operate in, it doesn't work. But to be fair, funnily enough, I actually thought as well is, if they were to do it, but say it's the Pokemon universe. So
Yes.
say they did a live action Pokemon. You don't have to follow Ash Ketchum. You know, we don't. We could.
No.
But say they do. I don't know. They make up a thing, or they could do it maybe based around the war, the Pokemon War that happens that we know that happens in the game. You know,
Yeah.
and so from the first ever game that came out, we know there was a war and all this. So they could do it based off that. That'd be cool. But you know, again,
But
it's a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. The fact is that you have to explain. Oh, there's these massive creatures and they all have special powers.
But that's the thing though, and I think that is also like back to when we were talking about DC and Marvel. I think they're going to fall into the same realm if they try this into the DC world.
Yeah.
Where with the DC, a lot of their characters are unbelievable, and I think with a lot of movies, the reason why certain movies work and certain movies don't is also the relatability factor.
Yeah.
And I think that is the key.
Well, it's
But
the
I think
reason.
that's
It's
the
the reason why
problem.
everyone. I mean, personally, out of DC, is the reason why Batman is more relatable and a liked character than
Yes.
Superman.
Because there's some realness to it.
There's realistic to it. The fact is that this horrible thing happened to a child. He grew up broken and is now a billionaire with money, and he's running around in tights and a cape fighting crime. You know,
Yes.
he could
I mean,
be.
the difference is though, but the thing that I think connects us with that is that he's human, is that he feels human. And the thing with even a lot of Marvel characters is there's a human factor to them.
Yes. No.
But with
it is.
DC films, there just hasn't been. Sorry.
Yeah, it is relatable. Oh, bless you.
Oh, I can feel my face. It's so good.
So I would like to see live action Dragon Ball. That would be cool. But that's like for me. The only other anime I thought that could work. But again, it's not believable. This is the issue. Is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That is
there have been a lot of movies for that. I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
Now I know that I think it's the Korean industry did the full. I think they did 3 movies, which was like the full arc of the original story.
Yeah.
Which I've watched them, and they're not bad. They're actually not bad. I think they're all right, but I actually think it would play itself better to be a TV show sort of thing, and with seasons and stuff like that, that would work. Because it felt, the only thing I found about the movies is that it felt a bit rushed, and because I've watched all the original anime, it's like they had to gloss over a few things just to keep the pacing good, and it's like, no, you can't gloss over this bit. This is one of the best bits.
I think that's the hardest thing because also, like as we said, that One Piece kind of goes over 97 episodes.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with that too is there are going to be bits you have to cut.
Yes.
And knowing where to cut is key. And I think sometimes there needs to be things like, I was actually quite impressed that this was only 8 episodes and it didn't seem to stop, but the pacing was nice. It wasn't like it was just all like balls to the walls, action. But there was this thing where you got to develop the characters, you've got to understand the characters. And that's why it's a bit disappointing that you haven't watched all of it yet, just because Nami, at the point that you've watched it, is kind of boring, and she feels like a kind of like just a person that hangs in the back, kind of like a crew that, like when you see, like for example, like when you watch like Pirates of the Caribbean, you've got some of those pirates that kind of have a little bit of a talking role, but you don't really know anything about them. They're just kind of there, almost as comic relief, and that's the problem I find with Nami. And that was one thing that I was disappointed. But the last 2 episodes, like the third last episode, you kind of see a little bit more of a bit about her, but then the last 2 is all about Nami, and it just makes me happy because I felt like now it finished out everybody's story. It finished out everybody's understanding. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, funnily enough, while I'm just looking through obviously the different things, it mentions One Piece on here. You know, it's like this is like the best animes for beginners and all that. Just not One Piece, One Punch Man. Now that's I would love to see that, but that would definitely not work. Although imagine live action fighting sequences would be badass. I would love to see that. But one of the like, you know, when you get these random little adverts that pop up on the sides of the thing. One of them talks about this new Blue Samurai child, but that's just reminded me about Samurai Jack. Now I know it's not an anime.
Oh,
It's not an anime, but it was an amazing cartoon. Like, it was sick and
Oh,
badass. Now that is live action would be really good, because the only problem with Samurai Jack that I had is that it had a few too many filler episodes. If you watched
yeah.
it from start to finish, there was a lot of really slow episodes, like randomly, and you're like, oh god, just a bit pacey. But in a live TV thing, and a season, and you could have a good, you could keep it quite pacey. You don't have to finish the entire. He doesn't have to go beat
No.
the big bad. I can't remember his name now. But he doesn't
I
have to
know,
beat.
remember it, and I remember watching a few
Mm.
episodes, but I wasn't that in. That being said, though, speaking on the same thing, man, let's go Afro Samurai. You remember Afro Samurai
Ooh, Afro
with
Samurai.
Samuel L. Jackson
Yeah,
and stuff?
yeah, Afro
And
Samurai.
I
That could
must
be
say,
interesting.
shout out to my mate Arwen, who I love. So he's a cosplayer. He mostly cosplays Aquaman, because
Yeah,
he's Filipino, but he's kind of got that kind of skin color. He used to do it as Aquaman, and then obviously Jason Momoa got attached, and then he blew up because he kind of looked like that.
yeah,
And I must say, there's huge shout out to his wife Shelley, who is one of the most beautiful humans on this planet, who sits there when he does the shirtless one or does one that's
yeah.
topless, who draws on every individual triangle with Sharpie. And one of the things that he did is at one of these conventions that just made me happy was Afro Samurai. And I've just sent it to you in chat in Facebook because
Oh,
it is
hang on,
just
on the wrong one.
amazing. Whoever's editing can just throw it up on the screen.
Yeah, I will.
Um,
Where's that?
okay.
There we go.
But Arwen is an amazing cosplayer. He goes by Doofus Cosplay, mainly because Shelley always used to call him Doofus,
Yeah,
because she's like, I love that doofus, because he'd go out and do silly things and stuff, and he's like right into all the gym stuff and things. Like, he's been trying to get me go to the gym and stuff. So he's an amazing friend of mine as well. And but yeah, it's kind of funny because he dressed up as Afro Samurai. It's just badass. And I just wish Samuel L. Jackson was like 40 years younger so he could play Afro Samurai.
yeah. I mean, it's like, for example, when they were doing The Boys. Obviously, they were pitching Simon Pegg in the original comics for The Boys to play
Oh,
to
that'd be
play to play Huey. In the original comics, he looks awesome, and he's a spitting image. But sadly, sadly, they
sort of
can't.
got man. I would let Simon play like Simon Pegg. They could announce Simon Pegg as Black Panther, and I'd be like, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, oh,
I
Simon Pegg is just that kind of guy. Everyone likes him. He's such.
I have a very sad and heartbreaking story about Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yeah.
So we went to a convention here that they advertised that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost were there. So excited, bought tickets, was all ready for it.
Okay.
Then they were going to sign, and I'm like, fantastic, they're signing autographs. Tried to book them, and they said, no, there's no cost involved. And I was like, oh my God.
Even better.
Got there at the butt crack of dawn, was literally one of the first people in there, went to where they were, and then they said, oh no, they're doing a talk at 9 till 10. So we went to where their talk was, and supposedly everybody that went in got a raffle ticket, and then they were drawing, and anyone that had, and then the raffle ticket would allow people to get signatures. And I was like, oh, that's all right, whatever. And to be fair, like, there would have been like 400 people behind me.
Mm.
They had 100 raffle tickets. And of those 100 raffle tickets, 10 people got chosen, which they didn't advertise.
Yeah.
To the point where Nick Frost and Simon Pegg love them. They went on, I think, Facebook or Twitter and said, listen, we're really sorry. We didn't know this was happening, this, that, and the other. But they had 200 seats that were full. There was all the people standing behind us. I was probably like maybe 150th in it because as soon as they told me, I went there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get a seat. So they'd obviously filled the entire seats. There were VIPs that got in early because they'd bought VIP tickets.
Yeah.
And obviously a lot of them got it. And you should have seen it. Like, it got ripped apart. And I'm like, wow. And I was gutted. But I did get to see them from a rope away, but the security guy kept pushing me.
Yeah.
And I may have threatened to stab him if he had to just let me not take a photo. But he still ruined the photo, the bastard.
Oh, yeah, that sucks. I mean, it's awful. This is the reason why. I mean, I enjoy going to, I enjoy sort of watching panels and all that jazz, but I haven't got time, because obviously I would love to go to more conventions than I do, but the fact is that my son's not really into it yet, sort of thing. He doesn't have that.
I must say, though, you guys have Armageddon. An
Yes.
Armageddon we had here in Australia,
Mm.
and the first one I was so lucky. So I was working at a place called the Hotel Grand Chancellor,
Mm.
which is about a 4.5 star hotel or 4.5 star hotel, or so it's called, because they've like so for anybody listening, hotels have to have meet certain requirements to get certain stars. So like a swimming pool, but our swimming pool would have been probably the size of a double bathtub, really tiny. It had to have 24-hour service, which it did, but you could only order pizzas, and they were literally pizzas that were put in a convection oven and sold out.
Okay.
So that was a 4 star hotel. It was really probably about three,
God, that's
maybe two and
awful.
a half, 3 star hotel. But it was a beautiful place. But the first Armageddon, they came in
Okay.
and they were actually staying at the hotel. So I had Billy West, obviously famous voice actor. I was already obsessed with Futurama, and he was doing that. And then at one point there, we had to actually shut down a certain room for him. So him and also the other guy that was there, Joe DiMaggio, who plays Bender and obviously
Yeah.
does Adventure Time, so they could record. And I was like, what the hell? They also had the guy that played Batman that just recently passed away. What's his name? I've forgotten his name.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah. Kev,
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy. Yeah. Is it Kevin Conroy?
Kevin Conroy was there. I'm pretty sure it was. Kevin Conroy was there. He was there. Somebody else was there. Unfortunately, the guy from what was it?
Yeah, it was
I
Kevin
think
Conroy.
he was the second part of Stargate, and he was also from Farscape. He ended up cancelling last minute and couldn't come. And Doug Jones had to stay across the road at the 5 star hotel. But I got to meet all of them, and then I ended up getting free tickets to go. So I literally worked all night till 7 a.m. Went home, slept for 3 hours, went to it, and then when they saw me, they're like, "Oh, Derek," and let me push in and signed all my stuff. So I ended up leaving after about 2 hours. But I've actually got like framed photos of Billy West, and that is currently sitting in my storage unit. But those guys know how to put on a great event. And I was devastated when they, at COVID, they said they're only going to do it in New Zealand. And since then, they've stayed in New Zealand. They haven't come back. I'm like,
Oh well, so basically, what we have to do is we have to exchange conventions. So you have to invite me over for PAX, and I have to invite you
oh
to come
man.
over for Armageddon. Okay, that sounds like a
Well,
deal.
hopefully, but in theory, touch wood,
In theory, touch wood.
because it makes a cooler sound. Poor people that are listening to the podcast went, "What the friggin' hell is
That didn't
happening?"
come
And I'm
through
not
on
gonna.
my. That didn't come through on mine. So if it's
Oh,
my record week, all you can see is just us doing that, and you can hear mine, but you can't hear yours.
okay, so that's all right. That's cool. But yeah, no. Touch wood. I should have my house, which means that there'll be a spare room.
Awesome.
So it'd be rude not to come over.
It'd be
And
definitely
yeah,
rude not to
if
come on.
I'm still doing media, obviously I can get the media pass for myself, and I
A
may be able to
cameraman?
talk to
Do you need a
Chris.
cameraman?
That's what I'm thinking. I might be able to. Like I've got a GoPro here that I need somebody to hold.
We could
And that
cut.
being said, may I just say the GoPro 11 is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So we went bushwalk. We went to Hepburn Springs, which is it's kind of got like it's got all this bush and stuff, and we went bushwalking,
Hmm.
and I got to take it and shot in 5.3K. I'm like,
What?
damn, son. Yeah, 5.3K, 10-bit
Jesus.
color. So for anybody out there, 8-bit color is about 600. I think it is 600K
Yeah,
colors.
it's pretty good. Yeah.
10-bit is well over a billion colors.
Wow.
Like that's how different it is. Oh my God. Like, I swear to God. So now I'm very self-conscious about all my pores because I could see every single one of them. But no, man, it
So
was
it's not going to be your regular. This is what I'm going to record myself in thing for this. My
no,
fit.
no. Because I Googled, can you use GoPro as the thingy? Like, yeah, you can, but you need X, Y, and Z. I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. And now I'm like, no, I'm sticking to the Logitech Streamcam because I
Yes.
don't want to look that
I don't. I
kind
don't
of.
want to. I don't want to be showing off this face too much. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like it's like I'm already uncomfortable on video. That's why when Jordan said, "Do you want to be on a podcast?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "We'll film it." Oh fuck. And I'm like, and I'm still
It's because the
getting
modern
used to
day and
seeing
age,
my
we can
ugly
do
mug.
vidcasts these days. This is what the audience wants. They want to see these beautiful faces, Des.
I know, but it still feels weird. Like even when I'm editing and I see my face, I'm like, oh, who the fuck's that dude? Ah, fuck, that's me. But
Oh
yes, no,
man.
it's
Oh god! In fact, I tell you what. Speaking of which, didn't I hear the other day that they are releasing a new Stargate?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a new one coming out.
Oh, really?
What was it?
I
Oh
must
god.
say though, after they released, I think it was like, was it Stargate Universes? Was the last one that only ran for a couple of series?
Where was it? It was here. No,
Every
oh no, Yeah, there was Stargate Universe, which got cancelled early because of the original writer's strike, I believe. Off the top of
Oh,
my
is
head.
that what? Yeah,
Yeah,
because a lot of people were saying that's actually a very good one, and people were saying I really got into
it
that.
was actually really decent. It was actually quite good. The way they ended it was terrible but then again, most shows or seasons that had to end because of the writer's strike was awful, and more,
Yeah,
and which it's really easy to tell when those seasons happened as well, sort of thing. It's just like, why is this so bad? And then suddenly, that if they picked up another season, it was amazing again. And it's just like, oh, it's because of the writer's
yeah.
strike. But yeah, I'm just trying to find it. I heard, yeah, there was one the other day. I don't know whether it's going to be related to Stargate Universe or something else, but yeah, there was something announced. I can't find it now. It's going to drive me up the wall. But yeah.
Yeah, no. And then after we get thing, I'm going to get a text message from him going, "Oh, I fucking found it now!
Found
Damn
it.
it!"
Found it. Yeah. No, honestly, I will. It'll
There
just.
was rumors in April, according to this,
Yeah.
that Stargate reboot is Amazon resurrecting the franchise.
Amazon. That'll be interesting.
And I must say though, Amazon at the moment, if you don't have Prime and you buy stuff from Amazon, you're a moron. B, and I'm not trying to sell it, but B, Amazon Prime is starting to get very good, and they've noticed now though since the issues with obviously the writers and the actors guilds and stuff having they've started to take on a lot more series because they're realizing that the problem is for this period of time, and people haven't been able to start or rewrites haven't been able to happen. There's going to be a lull in movies over the next probably 6 to 12 months, I would say.
Correct. Yep.
Um, so they've actually been picking up a lot of series. So, for example, Neighbours, that was a household name here in my country, that was massive in the UK. And to be fair, I feel like the only reason it kept going was the UK.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, I used to watch it as a kid. That's the funny thing. I used to watch
And what the
Neighbours
weird
as a
thing is,
kid.
and then to the point where the they went to the UK and went, this is how much we want to renew, and the company said no, and then to the point where a week later, Neighbours shut down,
Yeah.
but Amazon has resurrected it, so now you can watch it on Amazon. But they do seem to be picking up a lot of series or wanting to make a lot more series, which I'm finding very exciting because a lot of their series are very good. And unlike Netflix, they do seem to put the money in to make them good
They
and
do.
allow them to.
This. I mean, because obviously, for example, one of my, I recently have watched Clarkson's Farm, which is a Prime show, and that's really good. I love Clarkson's Farm, and I know that it has been picked up for a third season. There was a bit of turmoil whether it would or not.
No, no, so what had happened was the contract for the third season had already been signed,
All right.
and then Clarkson did a Clarkson and ruined that contract
Yeah,
as well.
but it's Jeremy Clarkson. The fact that, I mean, why Amazon is surprised by some of the words that leave his mouth. I mean, God forbid. It's I mean, do you reset? If they were shocked by that, they should. All they had to do was look at his history with the BBC. Top Gear.
Yeah, I must say, yeah. Like to be fair though, the BBC did give him quite a few chances.
Oh, they did. But that's to be fair, it's like I literally I tried watching Top Gear. I think I watched the first season after all three of them left.
Is that the one with the Ranger, the guy? Actually, no. Actually, watch the one. As I said to you, watch the one with Flintoff.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't watched I haven't watched I haven't watched any of that series yet. But
do me a favor. Watch those ones. Those ones are actually passable. Those ones you actually feel like they kind of had that same kind of energy.
Yeah,
not quite.
I'm willing to try. I'm willing to try, but it was just funny when after he went, and the baby said, "No, we keep all the rights and we keep the steak because it's part of the show," and all that jazz. And the boys walked, and they said, "Don't worry, it's going to be the same old Top Gear. We've got a new host. It's going to be great." And it wasn't, because it just wasn't. Because the problem is that it was literally the show was made by them three. It was stupid. The
100%.
fact is that well, we're gonna do caravan, we're gonna do catapulting, but we're gonna use caravans and we're gonna get a scoring system on the go.
The funny thing about that too, though, is I have friends that don't care about cars, don't have anything about cars, but they watch Top Gears, and to the point where when they actually did the somewhat little reviews that they would do, they would just fast forward that 20 minutes. But they watched it because of them. They watched it because of them. I've got a friend that still to this day where I actually stole a number of them that had all those, those double episodes where they had the movie length episodes.
Oh yeah,
where it's like the Top Gear in Borneo or Top Gear in Botswana and stuff.
yeah.
And they are still to this day fun as hell to watch because the things they do to each other, the
Oh
stupid
god,
things.
yeah. It is. The fact is that they. Oh, I remember I remember the one where they were doing their road. I think it was a road trip across a bit of America, but they were going to end up in New Orleans where the hurricane had hit.
Yes.
And the plan was that they were going to turn up. They said at the beginning is we're going to land at thing and we're going to sell the cars that we've bought and blah blah blah, and we're going to make profit.
Yeah.
Crack on, great. But of course, then they turn up and they realize that the Americans are so crap that they've not rebuilt stuff and so they ended up going, you know what, we're donating the cars, we're not selling them.
And then there was one, I think it was James May. James May tried to, so I remember that episode, he tried to donate his car and they're like, no, we won't even, it's like you've got no house, your entire town's destroyed, and even then you're like, yeah, no, I'm not taking that.
I'm not
house.
taking the Cadillac. I'm sorry, I don't want it.
Yeah, it was funny, but that's the thing though, and I must say though, as somebody from obviously a different country, you'd think, okay, and you hear about the rebuild efforts, you hear about people donating to it. When you saw that, I was like, wow, this is like a year on, 18 months on.
I think it was like 2 years or something after, and he was just,
Yeah,
thought they'd turn up and it's like, oh, nothing's happened. But yeah, it was just like everything's still devastated and there's still houses that are X'd off, and he's like, what's
And
going
there's still
on?
people trying to live there somewhere, or they have their own.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I won't lie, that episode did break my heart a little bit just to see
It was
that.
horrible to see. It was terrifying, God forbid. And just, But again, it brought up the question. I mean, oh God, I feel like we're going on a right tangent here. It did bring up the question of, is the media not reporting it? Has it gone off the public's mind and all that? And to be fair, you do follow what the news shows. Anyway, speaking of news, let's go on to a lighter subject, shall we? The lighter subject being, have you been following the Rugby World Cup at all?
I haven't actually watched it at all, man.
I
know Australia.
What the hell happened with your team, brother?
I don't really follow it, eh?
Right.
But yeah, I won't lie. I saw the team name and I'm like, I don't know a single person that is on this team, and I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing well. And then supposedly, did we even make our pool? I don't even think we made our pool, did we?
No, you've not. The fact, right?
care.
What was hilarious? Okay. So for those of you, I'll give full disclaimer. Right, I do not do sports. Right, I'm not a sports guy. I don't follow rugby teams. I don't follow football teams. I am not that guy. My wife loves me.
You say you don't follow. You say you don't follow football teams, but what about Wrexham?
I watched the documentary and that's about it. But listen, right? Okay, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who's down the pub supporting whatever random team every week. I'm not that guy, right? My wife loves me for it, okay? When it comes to national games though, and the Olympics and stuff like that, I get involved. I don't know why. It just grips me. And rugby has always been. I prefer rugby over football. Always have done. So when the rugby World Cup,
why though? Because you've got a chance of winning the rugby. You've got no chance of winning the football.
Oh no, we have a chance of making it to the finals of the football. But the second it gets to penalty shootouts, we're buggered. We're all fully aware of how screwed England are with penalty kicks.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just. So I this year I was like, it starts when I get back from holiday. It's like the weekend that I got back, it started. I thought, belter. There's a Sky Sports Now package. Paid for that. Job done. So I've been watching the games. And this World Cup has been the weirdest thing. It's like you got all the underdog teams who are smashing it in the pools.
Really?
Oh, well, for example, right, okay. So I saw your pool.
My question is how is Georgia going?
Oh God, no! Georgia's doing terrible.
Because at work we had a pool of who was going to, and you paid $10.
Hey,
the winner got the pool.
Yeah.
The winner got the. I think the winner got 80%,
Yeah.
or 75%, and the other 25% got split between second and third. And my boss paid, and he got Fiji, which I'm like, that's probably not bad. They're fifth favourites. They're probably not going to be too bad. And I pulled Georgia, and I was like,
Right. Okay, so you're in the
yes.
same pool. Okay, Georgia have not won a game so far.
Georgia. So in
There's
other words,
still
I
there's still
donated to
there's
the
still
cause.
2 games to go. They can't get in the. I'll tell you now. That I don't think there's a cat chance they could win the pool. There's no way.
To be fair, though, I don't think I was really that excited. Like, as
Yeah,
soon as I pulled Georgia and then found out they were 100-1, I'm like, probably not going to win this
not
one.
gonna win as well. But it was the fact is that, of course. So what I end up doing, because obviously the games are playing at like 5 a.m. or 2 in the morning. You know, for me, for my time frame. So it's like I wake up and I put it on the weekends. Or put on the highlights for. If it's an England game, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
But if it's like it's whatever, I was like, I'll stick on the highlights, see what's happened. And
Yeah.
when I saw the Australia Fiji, right, great, put on highlights, and I was like, oh my god, they got demolished. You guys got demolished, and I was like,
As I said to you, I don't know a single player. Like, don't get me wrong, I live in Melbourne, so right now, pretty much, I think as we speak, the grand final's about to kick off, or maybe within an hour, the grand final's about to kick off, and we're very much AFL.
Yeah.
We've got a rugby league team, but when it comes to rugby union, we don't care.
yeah.
But that being said, though, quite often I still know quite a few of the players because I'll sit down sometimes and I'll watch the rugby. I don't know a single player in the Australian team.
Yeah, no, it is. It's been shocking to watch. I mean, for example, the other day, so my son had his friends around, and I was catching up, and I was watching the Scotland Tonga highlights. Right, you click it. I thought, because obviously I'm from Scottish and Irish descendancy, right? Okay, I was like, oh, I'll put it on, but I know the Scotland have lost. They've got to have, they've lost because it's Tonga. I live this end of the world now. I respect when I see Tonga.
I understand how strong the Polynesians are.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. But oh my lord, the fact that I saw Scotland beat Tonga, I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah. I was like, okay. All right, what's going on? But then the fact is, then I caught the highlights of Ireland beating South Africa. Now, don't get me wrong, South Africa.
Really?
South Africa are the number 1 team in the world.
Yeah, I
Ireland
know.
are number 2, but still, it's South Africa versus Ireland. I was like, yeah, it's all right. Ireland are going to do well. They're going to do well, but South Africa got this. But the fact is that they won. I was like, oh my
Damn.
God. I mean, the fact that people came out and said, oh, well, South Africa, they weren't feeling their best team. They let Ireland win. I was like, no. I watched literally the first 30 minutes. South Africa weren't playing just to lose. They were trying to win. It was really...
Jesus, Batman.
It was a proper slog. It was really good. But yeah, it was fascinating. But
The question is, though, do you have friends or family in Scotland?
I probably have a cousin or two in Scotland somewhere.
Just because there's a place that has just recently opened up on Airbnb that I actually want to visit.
Okay.
In Scotland. So I have sent you the link.
Oh God.
It is in Scotland, in the Scottish Highlands.
Right.
And every part of me wants to go stay there. So it's an Airbnb.
Okay. Where's it at?
The link's safe, I promise you.
Yeah, I know. Well, wait for it to load.
So all of a sudden there's all this like porn that comes up.
Yes! Sign me up, brother.
Like, seriously, like, I'm saying, like, bro, if you want to go visit Scotland, let's do this. So for anybody that's obviously doesn't have the IM that I just sent Jordan, so for example, Shrek's Swamp is now available to rent on Airbnb. So this new Airbnb listing in the Scottish Highlands that pretty much recreates the DreamsWorks animation to the point where it's got the sign out the front saying "Beware ogres." It's got the tent. When you go in there, it's got the bed and everything that's exactly the same. Like, I honestly think that somebody who has a background in prop making or understanding has done this, and it is next level amazing. And I'm like, bro, if you ever need to go visit your cousins in Scotland, can we stay here? Hell, I'll even be the little spoon to stay here with you.
Yeah, honestly, that looks amazing.
So
That looks
we'll
so
pop
cool.
some photos on, and it is 10
Whoever's
shades
edited
of
this, but
ridiculous.
yeah, this looks awesome. My God, it
Like
looks.
to the point where like because
Although I can't see it in shot though. Where's the outhouse? Yeah, listen, it doesn't need to be an active one, but it needs to be there. Let's be honest. Come on.
for one night, I'll shit in the woods.
You know, oh no, I guarantee you, there's an indoor toilet. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I want it there so I can do the classic bush with my foot. I want to recreate stuff.
You know what I wanted to do is I want there to be a latch on the door that as soon as you twist it, the high tension spring engages and it just smashes the door open.
So
Because I just think,
oh my God,
actually, there is something, there is, or you may be able to get to kick the poop door open. But yeah, because I sent this to a friend, and I said to her, so my friend Kristen, who I absolutely love, she's amazing. She is a social media god, and we should probably hire her because she's amazing. But I sent this to her, and I literally sent her the image or the link to the Twitter bio that I found it on, and I'm like, what do you reckon we stay here? Because then in the morning I'm making waffles. I'm like, and that's all I sent to her. And she's like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, no, that is sick. That is so good. That is so
Like,
good.
it is ridiculous. Like,
I did see
saying,
the other day that the Star Destroyer house in Australia is up for sale. And the one that's
what?
yeah, the guy who
Star Destroyer?
yeah, the guy who built one. He built a star. He's built a house in the I can't remember exactly where, but it was like it's based on a Star Destroyer.
It's in Kyneton. It's in Victoria.
Oh, is it? All right, but yeah, he based it off that, and he was selling it, and he was making the rounds on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, this looks awesome.
So it's oh my God. So it's on a 2.31 hectare block approximately, and it's built out past Highton somewhere. And holy shit. So Highton's not that far out. So it's probably, I would say, it's probably
suddenly
about an
Dez
hour,
is planning a trip
an hour and a half.
to go visit a Star Wars house.
Yeah, I need to go for an open house. You know, what does it
Go
say?
for an open house.
Record shows the site was bought. Oh, I got well excited there.
Oh, it's
It
been
says
bought.
it says Core Logic records shows the site was bought for $550,000 in November 2021. I'm like, for $550K, I'm like, I might bid on this shit. Like 2.5, like it'd be a pain in the ass to get to work, but 2.5 hectares and the Star Destroyer house. I'm like,
boss, I need a permanent work from home. Granted.
so oh my God, this is actually pretty impressive. So
It
look
is.
at this. So the entire 5-bedroom structure is designed with ColourBond steel and would include a hallway akin to a functional ship, but 3 water tanks inspired by the Boeing 747 jet. The buyer would also put in touch with an art dealer who could help them secure the hallway middle cylinder, which is actually a real. This is written really badly. A real jet built by Rolls-Royce.
But
What? A real? Oh no, sorry. A real jet bought by It says so. It's got in brackets. Actually, a real jet built by Rolls-Royce engine in the 1970s from the British Airlines.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
like, what? But that being said, though, it is kind of amazing, and it's in Victoria. Hang on, how long would it take me to get to work? just entertain yourself, people.
Well, while you entertain that thought, Des, I'm going to do our outro because I've just realised the time. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we want to say a big thank you to all of our recent subscribers and our recent followers. You can find us, as I said, you can find us available on all good podcasts applications. If we are not available, please let us know. You can find us our social medias at Dorks Down Under at X as well as TikTok. Please make sure you do like, subscribe, share, and you can also remember you can see our beautiful faces available on Vidcast, which is on our YouTube channel as well as on Spotify. We do obviously answer everything, and yeah, God knows what we're going to plan for our next discussion, but we got to. But
here's random question: Would it be hard to drive an hour into work every day. It's only 88 Ks, and according to this, it's only 59 minutes to my work.
Yes,
in the heart
because
of the
I
city.
used to do it. I used to drive all the way from Hartford to get to Cambridge, which was an hour.
You used to live in a motherfucking Star Destroyer. Just saying. Just saying.
I want to live in the Star Destroyer. I knew to live in the Star Destroyer, Jordan. Yes.
Okay, so if you were given the option to live in the Star Destroyer house,
It's not a Star
And,
Destroyer. It is a Star Destroyer. Yeah, but yeah. I know what you mean.
would you live in a Star Destroyer house
Mm.
and be willing to drive an hour?
Yes, of course I would, because I'm a nerd. So technically we're adult.
Exactly.
But yeah, I absolutely would.
Oh.
I absolutely would.
It's not actually that expensive. I mean, it's expensive, but it's not as ridiculously expensive as what I thought. So it's listed by Brendan Miller and Thing of Ray White Bayswater. The price hopes for 1.05 to 1.1 million.
That's not that bad, actually.
That's actually
That's
not
very
as
reasonable.
ridiculous.
That's actually
And it's a
reasonable.
5-bedroom house.
That's reasonable.
It's a 5-bedroom house.
For a 5-bed, that's not bad.
5-bed on 2 hectares of land.
2 hectares. Yeah,
2.3 hectares of land.
Yeah, 2 hectares.
You could
nice.
you could literally get rid of 1 hectare and sell it for somebody else to build a house on and probably make money.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, that would definitely be an interesting buy.
So I know that Jordan's on the outro, but guys, we are starting a GoFundMe so that Dez can buy the Star Destroyer house. We're hoping for about 1.1 million. So if you can, please give responsibly. Actually, no, please give irresponsibly. Famous people like Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Who else is rich? Bezos. We're on your channel. Send us $1.1 million. I will actually then pay for Jordan to fly over, and we will do a live podcast in the Star Destroyer house if you can help me buy it. Come on, Bezos.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you and much love from all the way from down in New Zealand. Peace out.
And peace out from soon to be the Star Destroyer house. Just because that would be sick. Come on, man. We need to buy it.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.